we're going to be setting up SNMP on our OpenNMS instance. We have OpenNMS down here, and we are going to configure the system that OpenNMS is running on. And then after that, we're going to configure a client remote system that we also have ready to go so we can demonstrate across the network communication. After that, we are going to configure OpenNMS itself so that it can receive the traps that are being sent out from the two systems. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we need to do, I'm logged in to the secure shelled into the OpenNMS server. So the first thing we need to do is install our SNMP packages. So this will be sudo dnf-y install, and then we have net-snmp and net-snmp-utils, and go ahead and hit enter. Password. All right, wait a minute for that to complete. All right, so successful. Let's do a clear. Now sudo move etc snmp snmp.conf, and we will move that to etc snmp. That's actually snmpd.conf. So snmpd.conf, and this will be orig for the original file, so should be good. And now we're going to open up a new file. So we'll do a sudo vi and then etc snmpd.conf. Okay, and we're going to put in our connection string that the OpenNMS instance will use to communicate with the systems. So we need to do a ro community. Public will be our community string. This is public is like a default. It's not real. When you set this up, public will be some other secret key that you'll set up yourself. Only you know, and that's all of your nodes in the environment. Your endpoints will connect through that key. So a passphrase or password or whatever. So I think that's good. Let's do an escape. Colon right quit exclamation point. And our next step will be to enable our service and then start it. So we'll do a system control enable. Do SNMPD. All right, so we know how that works. Said it many times. So all right, so we'll do a sudo again. And now we'll start the service. All right, now let's do a status just to see what it looks like. So we'll do a status and then a little lag going here. And we're running active. We see enabled up here. So looks like we're all good. Let's do a clear. All right. Now let's go ahead and minimize this and bring up the other terminal for our client. But do the same thing we did with the previous system. So let's do a sudo. Let me check first to see what kind of shape this. Okay, so it looks good. So this is a fresh install, and I'm using fresh installs of all this client anyway. Is a fresh install of Fedora Linux 41. So let's go ahead and do a clear, and we'll do a sudo dnf-y install, and this will be net snmp and then net-snmp-utils. Let that complete the download and install process. All right, there we go, and complete. Let's do a clear. Let's go ahead and do the same thing we did before. Sudo move etc snmp snmpd.conf to snmpd.conf dash or dot orig. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do a sudo vi etsy snmp snmpd.conf. Open a fresh file here, and we'll add the same information, which should be community and then public. And we'll escape, right quit, exit. And let me do more of this just to see if everything stayed. Had a little bit of a lag there. We're good. So. Okay, our next step for this one, we'll do the same. System control, enable, and be SNMPD, right, and we'll do start. Okay, and now let's do a status just to confirm that it's running, and this runs on port 161, so let's go ahead and do a netstat-an and see if we have port 161 open here. And right there, so we're good. Let's see, so our next step here will be to open, this is the remote system, so we need to open the firewall ports to allow communication through, over the network through to the system, to and from the system. So we'll do a sudo, and we'll do a firewall command, add port equals, and this will be 161 UDP, and we'll make that perm to make it a permanent entry so it doesn't disappear when the system's rebooted. All right, and success. And now we're going to do it again with TCP. And all right, so let's do a reload firewall D, enter. Okay, and let me see, I think that is it for the client configurations. So let's go ahead and minimize this. Let's go ahead and bring up the browser. And I'm already logged into OpenNMS. We have one system, I've explained this before. We have one system, that's the system that OpenNMS is installed on. It automatically sets it up to be monitored in the system here in this application. So we are going to add, it's set up on localhost 127.0.0.1 as its IP address. We're going to add its actual IP address in the configuration though. So let's go ahead and go here. Let's do manage provisioning requisitions. So we'll do an add a requisition, and this will be for the remote client. And this will be, we'll say test rec. Okay, let's go ahead and go into this new one, do add node, and this will be our Fedora server, and this will be add interface, and this will be .53 for our client, and we, along with SNMP, we also want to add ICMP and SSH, and we'll do a save, and I think we're good. Let's do a return. Let's do a return, and then we can do a synchronize here. Do a refresh, make sure everything. Okay, so we have a node in the database and defined now, so we've successfully added our test rec, our remote client. So let's go into here and let's add another node underneath the OpenNMS rec. So this will be OpenNMS, we'll call it that, and this will be self-monitor, the same rec. I don't know if that means anything, but that's what they added in the default one that they set up when you do the installation. So we're doing it here. We'll go to interface, and this will be the add interface, and this will be .54, and we can also add these services, ICMP and secure shell. You can add whatever you want in here from the list. So I'm just doing these. They're easy to test. Right, and let's go ahead and do a save, do a return, and we can go ahead and do a synchronize. And let's go ahead and do a return again, get out to the main screen. So let's do a refresh so we get the proper number of nodes in the database. Okay, so we have 2 nodes under the self-monitor requisition name, That's the 127.0.0.1, and then the .54, and then we have the .53 down here for the remote client, and that should be good. So our next step here will be to go down to configure SNMP community names by IP address. So we are going to just set up a range that includes the two IPs that we're using in this demo. So we'll do a 50 to 60. That'll be good enough. 53 and 54 fall between those. So that's all we need. And everything else stays default. So let's see, right here. This is public. That's kind of a default setting for the community string in the SNMP file that we configured earlier. You would make that in that file whatever you wanted that to be, secret word or whatever, and then you would add that secret word up here and replace the public with that word you've created. So let's go ahead and save this. All right, let's go back out here, and we have a configure thresholds. This is so we can do a SNMP test quickly. So let's go to SNMP or net SNMP, do an edit, and we'll create a new threshold. This is just for testing purposes. So we have our data source will be HR system number users. Should be here already because I've used it before. And then down here, this will be 3, this will be 2, and this will be 3. And then description, more than 2 users logged in. So basically what this does is if there are 3 sessions, 3 people logged into one of these systems, then it will generate an alert in the console. So let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to check something here because there's a test you can do to check and see if your SNMP is configured on your client properly. So let's do a sudo SNMP walk -v, which is version, which is 2C of SNMP that we're using, version 2. And then -c for community string, which is public in this demo. And then localhost. Oh, this is the client, so we don't need localhost. Oh, we can, just to see if it's communicating. And yes, this means you're successfully communicating through SNMP, or it's working properly. Now, let's go over here and go to the client, or not the client, but the SNMP, or the OpenNMS server, and we can run the SNMP walk command here also to make sure we're communicating properly. This will be localhost. And yes, we're working on this end also. So let me see. I'm going to test this out. Let's test the localhost first. Let's go back to the main screen. We have our three configured systems in the registered. We can go up here, check out structured node list. Let's go to OpenNMS, and SNMP is detected here, and it appears to be loading or refreshing the data. And let's go to the other one, the remote system, Fedora Server 1, and this is also detecting, or it's also been detected, and it's also refreshing the data for the remote system. So this is in communication with the servers that are running the SNMP client. So let's go ahead and go back out to the front here. And so I have one terminal here. Let's do this again. And we have a terminal number 2, session number 2, and then we have session number 3. So we can, I believe this refreshes every 3 minutes. It's been 3 to 5 minutes in my past experience, so we'll let this sit, and I'll come back when this registers the alert. Remember, we set up our threshold for 3 logins into one of the systems, and it generates an alert notifying that there are more than 2 users logged in. So let's go ahead and pause here, and I'll come back when this updates. Okay, so we're back, and we can see here that our alert has fired, and it fired for our OpenNMS server, and it also fired on localhost of the OpenNMS server. So let's go ahead and here check it out and see what the alert is. System number of users alert that we set up. Let's go ahead. Let's go back here. Then we have our localhost, which is the same thing. And now we're going to close our terminals, go below the threshold, and we will demonstrate the alarm clearing itself after these terminals have been closed and the number of open sessions has gone below the threshold. We'll see these recover. So let's go ahead and pause and wait for that to happen. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the client. We're going to open up 3 sessions. We have 1 here. Let's go ahead and open up 2 more. 1. And 2. So there are 3 sessions. Now we'll wait for the alert to kick off, and then we'll come back and check it out. Okay, and here we go. We see the alert has fired, and we see it came from the remote client that we configured earlier. And let's check out the alarm. And we see here that number of users has exceeded the threshold, so that's working correctly. Now let's go ahead and close these sessions. Go back to the main screen first. Let's close these sessions. And we'll wait for this to clear just to demonstrate that. And then I think that will be the end of our demo here. That's what we wanted to accomplish. So let's pause and I'll come back when the alert clears. Okay, and the alert has cleared. Everything's back to normal. So I think that's it. Let's just recap what we've done, or what we did. We configured the SNMP client on the local host and on a remote system, remote client. And then we configured SNMP we added the clients, or the systems, into the OpenNMS configuration. And we configured the SNMP feature in OpenNMS to alert on the traps coming from the two systems. And then we tested the alerts. We set up an alert, a threshold of 3 logins. 3 logins would generate an alert, and then we tested that out, and we successfully alerted on 3 logins from the local host and from the client, or the remote client. So that is what we plan to do, and I think we're good. So hopefully this was helpful, and I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.